Have you ever been ghosted? Well, cool. Imagine the person who ghosted you was actually a fruit. And that's what we're ranking today. Every fruit by how likely they are to ghost me after one day. Okay, it's an absurd premise, I know, but we're doing it anyway. Okay, so let's go over our tiers. First, we have text first. They are so into you, they're probably more into you than you are into them. So they text you back immediately. Then we have respond same day. They're a normal, healthy individual, okay? They have things to do, but they make sure they make time for you. Next, we have says we should hang out again, and then we never do. They never talk to me ever again. It's unfortunate, but it happens, okay? Then we have seen at 9:47 p.m. They're not even replying. And then finally, blocked before I get home. And, you know, the date ends and I'm blocked before I even am able to get home and open my phone again to tell them how great the date went. And then we have I blocked them. Okay, there's some people where you go on the date and you think I should never talk to them again. Okay, with that out of the way, let's do it. First up, green apple. Okay, green apples are a little tart, they're a little sour, but overall pretty good fruits. So I think this is definitely like it says we should hang again, but never does. Okay, they don't quite have the ability to tell you that hey, we shouldn't go on another date, but they're sweet for the most part. They're fine. Okay, but they are ghosting me. Next up, we have red apples. Red apples are definitely text first kind of people, I think. Okay, the red apple is very sweet, very happy, gonna be way more into you than you are to them, maybe even a little too clingy. All right, next up we have apricots. Now apricots are not they're like a mid-tier fruit, right? They're not all that good. I think this is definitely seen at 9:47 p.m. territory. And also you'll notice that I've already excluded all of the fruits that I've never had before. So I can't really speak to how likely they would be to ghost me. So you can judge me for this all you want, but I've never had any of these. Okay, next up, avocados. Avocados are great. Definitely responds same day type of person, okay? They aren't overly flavorful in like a sweet or sour type of way. You know, they're very savory flavor. And really, if you think about it, I feel like they're kind of like a locked in, very about their business type of fruit, type of person. You know, I think they would go about their day. They'd have stuff to do, but then make sure they make time for you because they care about you after that first date. Next up, we have the banana. Bananas are sweethearts. Definitely respond same day. I don't think they quite have the overbearing sweetness that a red apple does. So they're not going to be clingy. They're not going to respond first, but overall, good date. Next up, we have actual dates because it's a good segue to that. Dates, the only time I've really had a date, okay, they've been dried or they have been baked into the RX bar, if you know what that is. And those things are pretty gross, okay? So this is definitely blocked before I get home. I think the dates are no nonsense. They don't care about me at all. And frankly, the date went horribly. All right, next up, blackberries. Blackberries are awesome. They're very good. But I get the vibe that the blackberry is not going to be able to be upfront with you and respond same day. They're certainly not going to tell you a date went bad. I think they definitely go in, says we should hang, but we never do. Okay, they're kind of flaky like that. Blackcurrant I actually haven't had either, so we're putting that there. Blueberries are awesome. Definitely text first. Blueberries are super sweet, super awesome, very cute. I love blueberries, one of my favorite fruits, and I would say they definitely are going to text back first. Okay, they'll be more into me than I am into them, even though I love them. Cantaloupes. Cantaloupes are good. They're not overbearingly sweet. So I'm going to say respond same day. Okay. Well, actually, yeah, respond same day. Okay. I feel like that they would be upstanding individuals and have the courtesy to at least tell me if they didn't want to go on another date. Okay. Coconuts. Coconuts are pretty good. Okay. I like coconut, but coconut can be a little much at times. I think coconut is not responding to you probably. They probably see your message. They make it very clear that they saw your message and then they never reply. Okay. I just get that vibe. I feel like they're not going to be upfront. They're more avoidant, really. You know, they have that hard outer shell, you know, that's kind of hard to get into. So I feel like that they would definitely project that onto you. Next up, we have cherries. I love cherries. It depends on what kind of cherry we're talking about, but most cherries are probably going to respond same day. They're not overly sweet. They're a little tart. They have reasonable, you know, personalities. They're not going to be too far in one direction. So I think they're pretty good. Cranberries. Cranberries are good, but they're kind of mid, you know. They're okay. They're really okay and only okay. So I feel like they say we should hang, but we never do. They're a little tart in that way and probably are not going to be super, super, super overbearingly nice to you or anything like that. So I'm going to put them there. Dragon fruit, I do not fuck with, okay? I would block them immediately. I've had dragon fruit before. I don't really care for it. And so, frankly, I'm blocking them before we get home, okay? Shouldn't have gone on a date with me. Durian, smelly, disgusting. I've never had it, but I know what it is. I know what it is. I've heard its reputation, okay? This is like the person who sleeps around and everybody knows they're a bad person you really shouldn't hang out with, but you go on a date with them anyway, and then you wind up back at their place and you're like, oh my god, why am I doing this? I should get out of here. That's the durian, and their room's a mess. Figs. Figs are, I've never had an actual fig, okay? I don't think. I think I've only had figs as like filling and other stuff, but it's okay. It's fine. I feel like it goes in the scene at 9:47 p.m. territory, okay? Figs are like, actually, I'm going to put response same day. I've changed my mind. I think figs are wholesome. They're a wholesome fruit, okay? They're only in healthy things typically, you know? They're, or at least marketed in that way, that figs are like healthy in a way. So I feel like that makes sense. Next up, we have grapefruit. Grapefruit is firmly mid. It's a mid fruit for me, okay? It's not sweet enough. I don't really care for it. I'm going to say that the grapefruit, with its tartness and its overall lack of flavor, is probably going to be a scene at 9:47 p.m. type of guy. Now, why do I say that? It's really just that I feel like the fruit probably, I don't know. I don't feel like they have a strong enough personality to really reply to you even. They'll just ghost you. Red grapes. Grapes are awesome. I love grapes. Sweet, great, fantastic. I'm going to go text first, text back immediately, okay? I trust them. I trust them to be an upstanding individual who's into me if I'm into them. Sour grapes, on the other hand, white grapes are going to be, we should hang again, never does, okay? I can easily see a green grape. She would talk to me and she would act like the date went great. And we get home, I'd be like, oh my God, that was a great day. We should do it. We should do this again sometime. And she'd be like, yeah, totally. And then I'd never hear from her forever. Okay, next up, kiwis. Kiwis are mid. Kiwis are mid in my opinion. They're okay. It's not the best fruit. I like how they're fuzzy. I think that's a cool perk that they have about them, you know. It's an interesting texture. And I'm going to say probably they're going to block me before I get home though. Okay, I can't explain it. I just get that vibe. Lemons. I love lemons, okay? I love lemons, but lemons are tart, they're sour, they're nasty individuals, okay? You should not hang out with lemons. And I would, the lemon's a toxic relationship, okay? I would deeply care for the lemon and the lemon wouldn't like me at all. She would hate me. Okay, so we're going to say block before I get home. And I would spend the rest of my life wondering if the lemon got away from me and if I had really lost something truly special. Limes, on the other hand, are like lemons, but better people and respond the same day, okay? Limes can have healthy relationships. I feel like they have managed to balance their toxicity. They've gone through some things. They've healed their trauma or whatever. They're good people. And the lime would be a great person to be in a relationship with, and I feel like they would respond same day. Lychee. I love lychee. Lychee, if you've never had an actual lychee, is not actually that fun to eat. I love the flavor of lychees. They're sweet. They're awesome. But they have they're kind of like unfun to eat because you have to peel them, and then they have this giant seed that is like kind of weird feeling. But I think they would text first, okay? I think they would reply. I think they would be generally eager to go on another date. I just get that vibe from them. They give bubbly vibes, okay? Bubbly personality vibes. Mango. Mango is great. Mango's a sweetheart for sure. Definitely responding same day. Could even be a little overbearing. We could maybe go into text first category. Okay, but I think mangoes are solid. They're solid individuals. They're very nice, very sweet people. I love mango. Okay, nectarine. Nectarines are good. I haven't had one since I was a kid, and that's gonna put it firmly in scene at 9:47 p.m. for me. Okay, I just feel like they would probably not answer you. They're not that popular to begin with, and they kind of like to keep it that way. I think they like to be low key, and frankly, they would probably not reply to you. Simple as. Orange. Oranges are goated. They're solid individuals. I love eating oranges. I eat the peel, which really freaks people out, but orange peels are good. What can I say? What can I say? Now, with that said, what is an orange? How is an orange as a person going to react to going on a date? I would say probably text first or respond same day. I think you can make a case for either. I think oranges are nice, upstanding individuals. They taste good. They're sweet. They have a little bitter side to them, though. You know, they're balanced in that way. If you want to eat the peel, you can have like a sort of like bitter and sweet thing going on. And I feel like, actually, yeah, I feel like that's good. Okay. Papaya. Now, I have not had much papaya in my life, but it's okay. I feel like it's kind of not as flavorful as some of the other fruits, therefore meaning it has like a diminished personality, and would probably simply say, we should hang out, but then we would never do it, you know. Peach. I love peaches. Peaches is like my favorite flavor of all things. Of all the fruits, I love peach. Okay. And I would like to think peaches would text back first. Okay, I would like to think that. I think they have a nice soft outside. You know, they're really good. They have a nice color about them. I would put them into text first back category. I think peaches are lovely people. Okay, passion fruit. Now, passion fruit, on the other hand, it's kind of got a weird flavor to it, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say seen at 9:47 p.m. I think there's a lot going on with the passion fruit. They're a complicated person. They have a lot of stuff going on in there, and I would argue the same about the star fruit too. Like, these are fruits that have a lot of flavors going on. They're interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna put them in this category where they have too much going on to even worry about ghosting you. They're just gonna do it. Pears, block me before I get home. Okay, pears are not that good. Let's be real, people. Pears are not that good. They're okay, but most of the time they're not sweet enough. They can be really hard to eat. They have a very dense texture that I don't care for. And if they didn't block me before I got home, I would block them. Okay, this date is going horrible, frankly. Pineapple. Pineapple, very tart, very sour person, very toxic individual, I would argue. Okay, now I would think that they would. I think they'd play mind games with you. Frankly, I think the pineapple might be just a little bit evil. Okay, and would say we should hang out, but we never would. They would lead you on for a really long time. Pineapple vibes, not good. Plums. Plums are sweethearts. Okay, plums are great. They have a nice rich color about them. They're very sweet. I like them a lot. I feel like they have a hard inner shell, which means that they can withstand things. They're a good person in the inside, okay? I think definitely respond same day. They're not going to be overbearing. They got stuff to do, stuff to take care of. That's what that hard inner shell, the hard pit is about. You know, they've got stuff they've got to do. That comes first always, but they would make sure they respond to you. Next up, pomegranates. Pomegranates are definitely going in the says we should hang but never do category, okay? And the reason for that is, I don't know if you've ever tried to eat a pomegranate. I love pomegranates. I have pomegranate juice in the fridge right now. Okay, it's awesome, but it's expensive. And the reason it's expensive is because pomegranates are a pain in the ass to eat. Okay, it's just miserable to fucking get all the little pomegranate bits out of the pomegranate. It's torture. It's truly terrible. So I feel like they're just a nasty individual, kind of. Like, there's good stuff in there, but man, do you have to work for it. And they would say we should hang, and you'd have to follow up a ton to ever get them. I think we can even lower them to seen at 9:47. You'd have to double or triple text them just to get them to text back. And it's not necessarily like malicious on their part. They got a lot going on, dude. They have you got to work to get the pomegranate. Okay, they play hard to get. Raspberries are sweetheart. They're texting back first. I mean, we all knew that was coming. They're soft, they're nice, they taste really good, they're sweet, very simple, very easy to see. Strawberries, I would also argue, same thing. You know, strawberries are just, I love getting a giant tub of strawberries and just eating them all. They're really easy to enjoy. I feel like they'd be easy to hang out with. And maybe we could even argue responds the same day. I feel like they wouldn't be overbearing the same way that raspberries might be. This has almost become just which fruits do I like, but I swear that's not true, because I love some of these other fruits like lemons, mostly just lemons down here, and maybe grapes. I feel like strawberries respond the same day though. Tangerines are good. Tangerines, I feel like, are kind of desperate. It's like the fruit everybody eats, right? Or maybe not, maybe passed around. I hate to say it, but I feel like that's the truth of the tangerine. So for that, I feel like they probably respond the same day, but probably not very, it's not a good thing that they do that, okay? It's probably not a good thing that they're doing that. Watermelon. Watermelon is good and nice to eat, but not very flavorful very often. You have to do some real work to even get to the yummy part of the watermelon. And on top of that, the watermelon also, you know, it's kind of messy to eat. So I feel like since the watermelon is messy, it's probably a seen at 9:47 type of thing. Honeydew. Honeydew is a lot less flavorful than cantaloupe and very bland person. And I feel like they would avoid confrontation. If they didn't have a good time with you on the date, I feel like they would just block you outright before you even got home. Guava. Guava is another one of these complicated fruits that's got a lot of flavors going on. And I'm going to put it in seen at 9:47 p.m. for that reason. Blood orange, okay? Blood orange is a decent flavor, right? I like blood oranges, but they got a little bit too much going on. You know, they've got the sweet and the sour, the sweet and the tangy, the tartness to them that makes them kind of like rude in a way. I feel like they would definitely say that we should hang again, and then we never would. Okay, kumquats. I've only had a kumquat a few times in my life. It's not a fruit you see very often, and It's okay. I mean, it's basically just like a itty bitty orange. It tastes a little lemony, I would say, a little more citrusy than an orange. I'm gonna say probably too tart and just too recluse to really ever do anything, to ever even reply. Wouldn't block you though. Raisins, nobody likes raisins. Well, that's not true. They're okay. I like eating raisins, but vibe wise, like a raisin person, okay? Who wants a shriveled up person, in their life? These people zap your energy. I would block the raisin 100%. And finally, sour cherries, okay? Sour cherries, I think the sour cherry definitely blocks you before you get home. Listen, I love the sour cherry. I feel like this would be another toxic relationship instance where it would be like, okay, I really like the sour cherry, but the sour cherry doesn't vibe with me and they block me. Okay, and that's because they're so sour. Here is our tier list of fruits that would or would not ghost me after one date. Yes, I know it's an absurd premise. I thought it would be funny though, and here you go. Let me know if you have any other absurd tier list ideas. Drop them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the other 3 videos I uploaded today.